Well, welcome to a new Team CGC 9.8 video, and today's a big unbox, and I happen to get my hands on an Ultimate Fallout number 4 first print in the CGC 9.8, and this is a book I've wanted for a long time, and I was patient on it, and I ended up getting it for a pretty good price. So yeah, really pumped to unbox this for everyone. And I posted a pic on Instagram of this book before the video, so definitely follow me on Instagram. I usually post up the day of before kind of the video comes out, so that's kind of cool, and I got my whole collection on there, and definitely would invite you to join the team and subscribe to Team CGC 9.8, and it's our comic book collection team. Yeah, we're kind of like the X-Men of comic book collecting, I would say. And notice too that we're over 400 subscribers, so yeah, so thankful for everyone subscribing and supporting the channel. But yeah, just want to kind of keep going and making cool videos and kind of sharing the fun and everything, because it's really fun, especially when you get an Ultimate Fallout number 4 CGC 9.8. So yeah, let's just get right into it. I kind of pre-unboxed it, like I couldn't really wait, so as you could imagine, it's looking really good. So yeah, we'll get into some details, get into the CGC census. Oh yeah, that's looking really nice. Yeah, Ultimate Fallout number 4, first appearance of Miles Morales, first appearance of new Spider-Man, obviously. Yeah, so I've been following this book for probably about a good year or two, the prices for sure. And certainly, I think a year ago, 400 was the norm, and 450 was somewhat, up there, but common. Like every now and then, one went for 450 for sure. I ended up grabbing this for, it was $354. So, yeah, I think being a little bit patient on this book, there's a bit of a lull right now, which I think works for, making this book a buy right now. Yeah, let's look at the census, though. Ultimate Fallout number 4. This is the first print, too. There's a second print, which I think is a pretty cool looking cover, too. It's got some interesting, slight little changes. But there's a 1,193 CGC 9.8s in the blue label for this book. And a CGC 9.8 ratio, 29.4% of all graded CGC copies of Ultimate Fallout 4 are 9.8s. That's pretty low for, a modern type of book like this. So I wanted to compare this to, there's kind of three obvious sort of modern age first appearances that are, quite expensive and in the CGC 9.8 and really collectible. And I talked about them in another video, but one is this, Ultimate Fallout number 4. The other book is Edge of Spider-Verse number 2, first Spider-Gwen. And the other book is NYX number 3, first X-23, Laura Kinney. So those three books, obvious, modern, super collectible, really expensive. The price range is a little bit, but both really expensive. But I really think Ultimate Fallout 4 is kind of the pick out of the three to kind of give the end of the video away a bit. But and gotta look on the CGC census, because kind of factually, it's definitely the best book out of those three I just mentioned, even though it's pretty much the least expensive, which is why I think it's like a really good book to grab, especially in the CGC 9.8. So yeah, like I said factually. So one thing, there's no 9.9s or no 10s in this book yet. So yeah, 9.8 is the highest grade you can get in this book. That's it. Edge of Spider-Verse, there's one 9.9. But Edge of Spider-Verse, 1,920 on 9.8s. 1,193 of these. The CGC 9.8 ratio for Edge number 2 is 59.6%, 29.4%. Lower the better. That means it's more relatively rare. It's more rare the lower that CGC 9.8 ratio is. So yeah, out of all graded books, about 60% of Edge number 2, Edge of Spider-Verse number 2, are 9.8s. 29.4% of Ultimate Fallouts are 9.8. So much more relatively rare than Edge of Spider-Verse number 2. NYX number 3, there's 1,656 CGC 9.8s of those. There's 5 9.9s. So you somewhat take that into consideration, but usually I don't, but that's just kind of a cool fact. But 1,193 of these, 1,656, so there's more NYX, so that's, you know, more supply, which is usually should mean kind of a lower price in some ways, but not all the time. 9.8 ratio on that book, 40.4%, so higher than this, so it's not as rare as Ultimate Fallout 4. So, and NYX number 3 is about $850. In the CGC 9.8, I bought this for $350. So, factually, and with, you know, Edge of Spider-Verse being about $400, let's call it, I think this is just the pick out of the bunch. So, yeah, I want to take a look at it, because, just kind of got it, and I did pre-unbox it to kind of have a look, but, I haven't really looked at it that closely. Yeah, case is in really good shape. Yeah, it's super crisp, as you would expect, kind of from a modern 9.8. Solid case. Not even a scratch on it. Pretty sure it's a newly encapsulated. I bought it from a seller that I buy from a lot. One of my favorite sellers. And they are CGCing books, and they put them up for auction usually every month. And yeah, check out it's like the 4 eBay seller, my 4 favorite eBay sellers video. They're in there, and yeah, they're really good. They always post a newly graded CGC 9.8. So yeah, great looking Ultimate Fallout 4. You know, I want to talk about the variant editions because yeah, they're really expensive in the CGC 9.8. I'm pretty sure the Miles Morales one goes for like $2,500 at least right now. And I believe there's 100 and something of them on the census. Pretty rare. I can understand, you know, low print of kind of one of the books to get, I think. I kind of did the math, like if that variant's at $2,500, at $350 you could buy 7 of these, or the one variant. So, yeah, when you do that calculation, I'm like, man, like I almost, looking at the CGC census, kind of just, kind of just looking at it factually, how this looks really good. You know, I almost want to buy like 6 or 7 of these instead of that variant. But, so yeah, I did kind of have an idea this morning about, this would be a good book to buy multiple copies of, I think, because it's really popular. It's Spider-Man. It would sell really quick if I ever needed to sell them really quick or something. And yeah, you know what? I'll get into my kind of 3 final reasons I think this book is the best kind of CGC modern, one of the best CGC 9.8 modern books. I'm not going to say it's the best because I don't know too much about modern books, and I usually kind of stick to the first prints, and there's so many variants out there. But I think this is an obvious one, and yeah, so 3 reasons, especially compared to those other books as we compared them on the census, and I think this looks better on the census, like it just does. So the first reason is it's more relatively rare. Yeah, that 29.4% is the lowest CGC 9.8 ratio, which lower is better. And out of those 3 books, and with NYX with a higher CGC 9.8 ratio, going for $850 in the CGC 9.8. Like, I think this could play catch up to that over the next 10 years, if you got a long-term time horizon kind of thing. And yeah, second reason, least amount of CGC 9.8s. So, NYX, there's 1,656. The Edge of Spider-Verse, there's 1,920. This book, there's 1,193 9.8s. And these are blue label CGC 9.8s on the census. So yeah, the least 9.8s means it's a bit more scarce, probably. And yeah, I think there's, right now, yeah, it's another thing to mention. Yeah, kind of the time to buy, I think. As I kind of mentioned briefly, this was definitely going for $400 to $450 quite consistently a year ago when Edge of Spider-Verse came out in theaters, kind of thing. So for me to grab this for $350, I think is a great buy. And yeah, after kind of doing that calculation, seeing how much that variant is, and maybe not really wanting that variant too much, I think this is a candidate for me to maybe buy a couple more of these in the CGC 9.8, I think, for $350, hopefully. I think over 10 or 20 years, that's going to look great, because, yeah, and least amount of 9.8 is my second reason. Third reason is, it's, you kind of get like an Amazing Fantasy 15 sort of pin action from this book. Like, Spider-Man is iconic. It just is. It's like he's in our culture. Spider-Man is. So, first new Spider-Man. You kind of get Amazing Fantasy 15 has done so well in the last 10 years as far as a hot comic book, and it's just because Spider-Man's so popular, and he still is. He still will. And, you want to kind of get the new Spider-Man, first Miles Morales. And my nephew's like 6 or 7, and he's 6, and it's like 3-4 months ago, not even Halloween, he has his Miles Morales costume, like, jumping around on the couches in the house. So, yeah, Spider-Man will definitely be iconic for, like, generations to come. And $350, especially when a year or two ago during the Edge of Spider-Verse movie coming out in theaters and stuff like that, or Into the Spider-Verse, during that time, these were $450, maybe even $500. I think a couple slipped through. So to get at $350, yeah, great book to get. And I always like to have those kind of like facts on the CGC census. I like to check out the census, and for it to look the best on the census, and it's like the first Spider-Man, and you kind of get maybe those Amazing Fantasy 15 kind of vibes from it. And I think the new Spider-Man's just as popular as the old Spider-Man, and it looks the best on the census. There's a pullback in price here. Like, I think right now is just a good time to buy this book for sure. Okay, so yeah, I think that'll be it for this unbox video, and definitely invite you to join the team and subscribe to Team CGC 9.8. When you press subscribe, the bell pops up. Click the bell for all our latest notifications. That'd be really appreciated. And yeah, over 400 subs was cool to see. And I'm just going to stay focused on making videos. And yeah, I got a couple more boxes coming in 9.8s that I had purchased, kind of a little bit lower dollar ones, but still really cool books. So yeah, I was excited to keep going here. But thanks for watching today. I'll see you on the next video.